Yes, now we'll move on to our next experiment, experiment number 8, a stable and monostable multivibrator. First we'll move on to the first type of multivibrator, that is a stable multivibrator. What do you mean by multivibrator? So in oscillator we have studied that it is going to generate a sine wave. So remember, oscillator generates sine wave, whereas multivibrator, these multivibrators are the circuits which are going to generate square wave response. So we get a square wave. So it is also called a square wave generator. So difference between multivibrator and oscillator is that in oscillator we use the transistors. So oscillator is nothing but a positive feedback. So in oscillators we use the amplifier and a feedback network. So the in amplifier stage we use a transistor. That transistor operates in active region. So it acts as an amplifier. So transistor is operated in active region. Whereas in multivibrator the transistors operate in saturation region and cutoff region. So basically the transistor used in multivibrators, they operate as switch. So if you need a closed switch, then it is going to operate in a saturation region. If you need an open switch, then it acts in a cutoff region. So in this astable multivibrator, it is divided into three types: multivibrator, astable, monostable, and bistable. Astable means the name itself indicates no stable states. So there are no stable states here. What are those stable states? Logic 0. If I say logic 0 is a stable state, the output remains logic 0 permanently in this state. So stable state means it is remaining permanently. So it is a logic 0. So it is in the permanent state until and unless some trigger pulse is applied. So it remains in this state permanently. So this we call it as stable state. It is a logic 0 stable state. Suppose if I take logic 1, so it remains in the logic 1 state. Logic 1 state, this is my logic 1 state, high state. So it remains in the high state until and unless a trigger pulse is applied. So it remains in the high state. So this is my permanent state. So stable state is also called as permanent state. So in a stable multivibrator, there are no stable state. No stable state means there are no permanent states. So it means, suppose if it is a output is at logic 0, so it remains in this logic 0 for a temporary time. So for temporary time, I call this temporary time as quasi-stable state. Quasi-stable state. So quasi-stable state means temporary state. So it remains in this temporary state for finite time. After some time, it is going to switch transit to high state. That is logic 1. Again after some time, again switching back to low state. So here these states are not permanent. So these are my temporary states. So it remains in this state for finite time. After some time, again it is going to switch to the high state. Again it is switching to the low state. So here this time, this is my T on. This time depends on charging and discharging of the capacitor. So it depends on charging and discharging of the capacitor. When it charges, so it is in high state. When it is discharging, when the capacitor is discharging, it goes to low state. So it depends on the capacitor charging and discharging time. So here none of the states are stable. Both the state, this is also my temporary state. So this is also my temporary state, or we can call it as quasi-stable state. So remember, in astable there are no stable state, but I can say there are two quasi-stable state. There are two quasi-stable state. Next, we will move on to the aim of this experiment to study the operation of a stable circuit using 555 timer. So here in this stable, remember that we are not applying any trigger pulse. Here, if I want to switch the state from low state to high state, I don't require any trigger pulse. So it is going to switch the state depending on the capacitor charging and discharging. So this is how I am going to design here. I need to design for RA, RB. So here the diodes are used so that we can protect this IC. So here the capacitor is used here. So this RC, RA, RB and this capacitor value decide my T on and T off time. So here we are going to decide how much duty cycle the T on has to be on. So for how much time it has to be on, for how much time it has to be off, it all depends on the duty cycle. Here this is my 555 timer here. This 555 timer is an 8-pin IC used to generate a square wave. So here I am supplying a power supply VCC of 5 volt and pin number C you can see the pin number 4, 8, they are shorted and given to supply VCC of 5 volt. Pin number 4 and 5, 4 is my reset pin, 8 is my VCC pin. Pin number 7 is my discharge pin, discharge. Pin number 6 and 2 are shorted, so 6 is my trigger pin, and this is my threshold pin. Pin number 1 and 5, between 1 and 5 there is a capacitor, it is fixed voltage of 0.01 microfarad, pin number 1 and 5. So 1 is my ground pin and 5 is my control pin. Pin number 3 of this 8 pin IC, it is output pin. So from here we are going to check the output. So we are checking this output in CRO. Now we will design RA, RB and this capacitor C value so that I can design it for given duty cycle. So here, going through the design part, here you can see the design is given for 15 kilohertz. So design is for frequency of 15 kilohertz. I need to generate a square wave of 15 kilohertz, frequency of 15 kilohertz. So duty cycle is 66%. Duty cycle 66% is means T on time should be 66% of the time period. So here we have done charging time. The formula of charging time is T1 or T on, it is 0.693 RA into C. Discharging time T2 is 0.693 RB into C. So we will find it for RA and RB. So before that we will select the standard value of C here. So I have selected the standard value of C as 0.01 microfarad. So next we have calculated RA and RB. So here you can see RA value, it is T on divided by 0.693 into C. So T on, here we have done the calculation here for time period T is 1 by 15K. So the given frequency is 15 kilohertz. So for 1 divided by 15K, you will get a time period 66 microsecond. So duty cycle is given 66%. So you need to take T1 as 0.66 into T, that is 44 microsecond. So T off means T divided by T on. So this will be my T on, this is my T off. So this will be 66% duty cycle. So total time period T, here it is 66 microseconds. So out of that, 66% of 66 micro, you will get 44. So T on will be 44 microsecond and T off, this is my T off, that will be 22 microsecond. So this is my T on and this is my T off. So here you can see the design part, RA and RB I have calculated. So when you calculate this RA and RB, so for my design I have taken as a 15K. For this 15K I will get 6.2. So this one I will get 6.2 kilo ohm, and this one here it is given 31.7. This is design done with respect to 1.5 kilohertz, but we have done the design for 15 kilohertz. So for that we get 3.2 kilo ohm. So we have taken 6.2 kilo ohm, 3.2 kilo ohm, and standard value of C is 0.01 microfarad. This is how we get the output here. You can see the output. So this is my output square wave generated, but my duty cycle is 66%. So here you can see 1/3 of VCC. So charging is from 1/3 of VCC to 2/3 of VCC, but the square wave is generated from 0 to VCC. Right? So it is my 66% of duty cycle, means it is this one you are getting it as 44 microsecond and this one is 22 microsecond. Total time period is 66 microsecond. So 1 divided by 66 microsecond means you will get 15 kilohertz. So we will go through the design part here. So this one we have done the connection as per the circuit diagram. So you can see the IC. So this is my 555 timer IC. So here I have done the connections. So these are my two resistors RA and RB. Two capacitors, one is 0.01 microfarad and then is fixed 0.01 microfarad. So I have taken a power supply of 5 volt. So I have connected this 5 volt VCC. So this is how your output looks. You can see the output here for both the channel 1 and channel 2. I have set it for 2 volt. So here you can see. So for along y-axis it is covering 1 to 2.4. So it is covering almost 2.4 divisions. 2.4 into 2 will get 4.8, that is near to 5 volt. So the square wave peak voltage is 5 volt, that is up to VCC. Here you can see for capacitor. So capacitor here we can see it is charging from 1/3 of VCC. So how much division it is covering? It is covering 0.8. Let us take it as 0.8. 0.8 into 2 will get 1.6. So 1.6 volt it is, that is 1/3 of VCC, that is 1.6. It is charging up to 2/3 of VCC. So 2/3 of VCC means it is 0.66 into 5 volt. So here approximately it is getting 1.8 or 1.6 you can take. So it is covering 1.6 division. So 1.6 into 2 will get 3.2 volt, that is 33, that is 2/3 of VCC means you will get 3.3. So we are getting 3.2 here volt. And duty cycle, to check duty cycle, so along x-axis you check. So this T on, this is my T on, that is in the high state, it is in the high state, square wave is in the high state, that is T on. So how much division it is covering? 1 to 2.8. so it is covering 2.8 or 2.6 you can consider here. 2.6 division, 2.6 into 20 microsecond. If we calculate 2.6 into 20 microsecond, so we will get 5, that is 52 microsecond. So 52 microsecond is my T on. 52 microsecond is my T on. Whereas T off how much it is covering? I will just change the x-axis here, x position. So you can see it is covering 1 division. So here you can see T off. So T off is my T off, this is my discharging. So T off it is covering 1 division along x-axis. So 1 division into 20 microsecond. So it is 20 microsecond. T off is my 20 microsecond and T on is my 52 microsecond. So if I calculate this 52 practical value, 52 microsecond, I'll write here T on is my 52 microsecond and T off is my 20 microsecond. So total time period, what is my total time period? T on plus T off. So that comes to 72 microsecond. If I want to check the duty cycle, practical value of duty cycle, that is T on divided by time period. So we'll get 52 microsecond divided by 72 microsecond. If we calculate it, it will get nearly 72% duty cycle. So theoretically, it was given as 66%. Practically, we have achieved 72% duty cycle. So this is 1/3 of VCC. Here in the CRO, we got 1/3 of VCC as 1.6 volt and this one as 3.2 volt. So this is what about your theoretical and practical value. So this is my practical value, 72% duty cycle, whereas theoretical value is given as 66%. We have achieved nearest value to this duty cycle.